Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So I'd made a video previously about how to find your unique art style, and I talked through my own techniques that I do, showing you sketches in my sketchbook. But I thought that because the feedback was pretty good, I want to do a part two of that, and it's going to dive a little bit deeper into what it actually means to have a style in general. And I want to give a disclaimer too. A style is never something that you should search for. It's something that happens naturally over time. So if you're an artist and you look online and see all this beautiful artwork and you're thinking to yourself, I'm never going to find my own style because I can't even tell how I draw. I draw crazy stuff all the time. I try abstract, I try modernistic, and it's just weird. Well, I want you to embrace that weirdness because that is your style. A lot of times it just happens when you start combining different techniques that you've done over time, and then it forms into your own unique art style. All right, so I encourage you to listen all the way through because I'm going to give it some very powerful tips here and some insights. So, finding your unique art style is a crucial part of an artist's journey. It's what sets you apart. It makes your art recognizable and allows you to express yourself authentically. Having a distinct style can open doors to new opportunities, attract like-minded fans, and also give you a sense of accomplishment. But let's be real, finding that style can be tough. Okay, so many artists struggle to identify and develop their personal art style. You might feel like you're stuck in a rut, creating art that looks like everyone else's, or worse, feeling like you're not good enough. We've all been there. You might scroll through social media, comparing your work to others, and wondering why you can't seem to find your own unique voice. You're not alone in that struggle. Millions of artists are doing that. Even experienced artists face the pressure of constantly creating new and innovative work, or I should say they experience the pressure to constantly create new and innovative work. The fear of not being able or not being original, or the fear of being ridiculed for our creations can be paralyzing. I mean, just look at myself, for example. I draw a lot of scary stuff, a lot of demonic, scary stuff, and you've probably seen the comments over and over again about why are you thinking of that stuff? Demon and monster stuff shouldn't be going through your head. You should be thinking of happy stuff. It's easy to get caught up in what others think when you're not sure of yourself. But let me be clear. Every one of you out there, whatever you draw, that's your pride. That's your passion. If you want to draw cute, cuddly things, if you want to draw nightmarish things, embrace that. People that criticize you are just unhappy with themselves. Remember that. So let me go back here. It's easy to get caught up what other people think and what they think you should be creating, rather than focusing on what we truly want to express. We might feel like we need to conform to certain styles or trends, rather than taking the risk to try something new and different. And being an artist, we're stubborn people. For the most part, we learn what works for us, and we don't want to dive away from that. Oftentimes, we just need to take a step back and remind ourselves that art is a journey. It's not a destination. There's no end to it. It's okay to not have it all figured out, and it's okay to experiment and try new things. Embracing the process of discovery can be incredibly liberating. One of the most exciting ways to explore your art style is to try out different mediums. So ask yourself, have you ever tried drawing with charcoal or painting with watercolor? What about experimenting with digital art or even mixed media? Each medium has its own unique challenges and opportunities, and you never know what you might discover. I know that I've been a traditional artist, self-taught all my life, been drawing since I was 4 years old. When I got to college, I noticed that everybody had a tablet. This is back in early, like 2003, 2004, 2005, the early to mid 2000s when Cintiqs and Wacom tablets and Bamboo and, XP Pen and all those awesome tablets, they were gaining traction, but they were kind of still in their infancy. And I remember I was made fun of in my class because I was drawing with a mouse. I was in transportation studio and I was drawing cars with a mouse digitally to try to render them. That was a mistake. Because here I was just pencil to paper, very analog. I'm old school. So transitioning has been an interesting journey because I could never figure out how to take my drawings in 2D, scan it in, paint on it, and still make it look as good as my drawings did. There was always this weird disconnect. And it's just something you have to practice with. But I later learned that I even had a new unique style. I guess I shouldn't say it was new, but it was taking how I drew and it was polishing it up and it was adding color to it. And I would paint how I drew. And it opened a lot of doors. It was really cool. And there was also this nice gap that was bridged. You got your digital work and then you have the style that you have when you draw on paper with pen and pencil. There's a lot of disconnect there, but if you can marry those two, it's really, really cool. So another approach to explore different themes and subjects, just ask yourself, are you passionate about nature? Do you love creating portraits? Maybe you're drawn to abstract art or architecture. Whatever it is, allowing yourself to dive deeper into these themes can help you uncover hidden aspects of your style. Okay, so another thing I want to talk about is inspiration. So inspiration is also a key factor in discovering your art style. What moves you, what inspires you, what makes you feel alive? Those are all questions you need to ask yourself. It could be a particular artist, a book, a movie, or even a personal experience of yours. Allowing yourself to be inspired by the world around you can help you tap into your unique voice. So, embracing experimentation is key to discovering your authentic artistic voice. It's not about creating perfect art. Let's just make that perfectly clear. It's about creating art that is true to you. Okay, so if you just like drawing animals, then draw animals. Who's going to tell you you're wrong for doing that? If you want to do portraits, do portraits. Okay, if you want to do like abstract, scary stuff or sculpture, do it. Just stop trying to perfect what you do. And I think your style is actually going to happen more naturally that way. We've all been there where we look online, especially, ArtStation, Behance, different art sites, and we think that we're never going to get there as a beginner. When you're an aspiring concept artist, you want to get into the industry and you compare yourself to others and you're just like, there's no way my art is going to look like that, ever. When you allow yourself to try new things, take risks, and to make mistakes, you open yourself up to new possibilities and discoveries. So the more you experiment, the more you'll begin to see patterns and themes emerging in your work. You might notice that you tend to use certain colors, or you have a particular way of rendering shapes. These are all clues to your unique art style, and the more you pay attention to them, the more you'll develop your voice. So, let me give you another example. I know that a lot of times it's hard to fill up a sketchbook, but one thing that I always tell my students is make sure that you number all of your sketches, for one, to get in that habit, but two, treat your sketchbook like a diary so that when you start filling it up, it's almost like your thoughts on paper. It's basically what art is. Everybody's art is their own thinking process. It's what your brain interprets based on how your hand's going to move. You put lines down, you see what happens. All right, but never ever cross out old work, especially in the same sketchbook. So let's say that you fill up the first 20 pages with stuff that you consider crap. And then all of a sudden, the next page after that, you do something that's considered a masterpiece. You wouldn't have gotten to that masterpiece unless you did all that previous crap work, quote unquote. So it's a journey. Same thing with style. I don't want you to sit there and go, okay, I got to find my style today because I'm going to apply to Blizzard and all my stuff has to look like Blizzard art. No. You either got it or you don't, as far as like a particular style. All right? Now, you find your best style when you don't think about it. Just draw. Every time that you put your pencil to paper, pen to paper, digital pen to tablet, whatever, every mark that you put down, you're getting closer and closer to finding the way that you do it. Okay, and I've said this before too. Look at your work right now. Just pause this video after I get done saying this. Look at your work and realize that nobody on this planet puts markings down like you do, because everybody's different. You already have a style. All you have to do is hone it and own it, but like hone your skills for it. Polish it up and keep building off that. It took me years to find my style. I never really found it. I just kept drawing until something clicked. You know, it seemed that like every time I was drawing, every decade that would go by, a new thing would emerge from my artwork. Yeah, I've been drawing since 1984. So in the 90s, my stuff looked better, obviously, but it still needed work. I started to find myself. Late 90s, early 2000s, I was heavy into detail. Who isn't, right? When you're an artist, who isn't heavy into detail? And then, you know, right around 2009, 2010, 2011, I started to notice something happening. And for me personally, yes, it took that long. But I started to notice that I had this style of making things look misty and atmospheric. That was totally unintentional. It just happened. I just started shading and I'm like, why am I staying inside the line so much? Like, just experiment. You know, going to school also helped me too, because I was an industrial designer, so taught me how to draw quickly, efficiently, thumbnailing and such, sketch renders especially. But this new style started to emerge. So between 2013 to about 2020, all of a sudden something happened. It just exploded. Those of you that have been following me on social media, you know, like remember when I started my Instagram in 2017, and you've been following me on Facebook for years. Maybe you've seen this progression happen, and it was just a natural one. Okay, so all of you right now, just looking at your work, know that if you keep going, your work is going to look different next year, depending on how much time and effort you put into this. And then all of a sudden, when you start looking at it, maybe in 3 or 4 years, you'll notice a big difference too. But don't get rid of the previous stuff. There's something about motivation by seeing your other work. You know, like, wow, I really sucked back then. And all of a sudden you see a clear progress that happened within a 2-month span. It's crazy how it happens. This next part in the video is especially important because I'm going to be talking about timeless styles in art that have gone on throughout the centuries that tend to speak to human beings the most. So let's start by saying that, you know, art styles have played a significant role in shaping our culture and society, from influencing architecture to music. Art has been a driving force behind many creative endeavors. But with so many styles out there, it can be overwhelming to navigate and appreciate them. So when we think about art, we often think about the masters, you know, Da Vinci, Michelangelo, Picasso. But their styles are just a few drops in the vast ocean of artistic expressions. The truth is, understanding and appreciating art can be incredibly intimidating. With so many styles, techniques, and movements, it's hard to know where to start. So one of the biggest challenges when exploring art is figuring out what speaks to us. Do we like the boldness of abstract art or the realism of classical art? Do we appreciate the subtlety of watercolors or the drama of oil paintings? I mean, the possibilities are endless, and that's what makes art so fascinating. Let's just take a look at some of the most popular art styles and try to understand what makes them tick. All right, so let's start with Impressionism. This is a style characterized by soft, dreamy brushstrokes and an emphasis on light. Claude Monet's Water Lilies series is a perfect example of this style. Then there's abstract art, which rejects traditional representation and instead focuses on color, shape, and form. Artists like Jackson Pollock and Willem de Kooning pioneered this style. We also have pop art, which celebrates popular culture and consumerism. Andy Warhol's Campbell soup cans are a quintessential example of this style. Then you have Cubism, led by Pablo Picasso and Georges Braque, revolutionized the art world by fragmenting objects into geometric shapes. Surrealism, embodied by Salvador Dali's Melting Clocks, that explores the realm of irrational and the subconscious. We also have Futurism, which glorifies the machine age and is characterized by dynamic futuristic forms. Then there's Minimalism, which strips down art to its bare essentials, often leaving simple shapes and monochromatic colors. Renaissance art, led by masters like Leonardo and Michelangelo, is renowned for its realism and humanism. We also have Expressionism, which emphasizes the artist's inner emotions and thoughts. Artists like Van Gogh, Edvard Munch, and they're famous for this style. Finally, there's optical art, which creates optical illusions using geometric patterns and vibrant colors. So as you continue your artistic journey and discovery, just remember that it's okay to evolve. It's okay to change, and it's okay to try new things. Your art style is not set in stone, and it's meant to grow and adapt with you. So in summary, finding your art style is all about embracing experimentation, trying new things, and allowing yourself to be inspired by the world around you. It's about taking risks, making mistakes, and learning from them. And speaking of taking risks, if you're wanting to get better at creature design and character design, or just drawing in general, I offer several solutions for that. One, join our Discord for free. Check out the links in the description below. You'll see Creature Design Workshop Discord. It's a bustling community. Dozens upon dozens of people are joining every single day. We have a wide variety of artwork from aspiring concept artists and industry veterans too. Feedback is given. We have a whole forum of reference dedicated to getting better, like looking at photographs, trying to get better at reference materials that you can use. And overall, it's just a really nice place that you can find camaraderie and like-minded people. And then we have my Creature Design Workshop. Now, this is a website that you can look over my syllabus. This is where I help teach students at the beginner level how to approach creature design for games and film, but specifically video games. Okay, this is a condensed 4-week course. We meet twice a week. Time zones I'm very flexible with. I'm in Eastern Standard Time. If you live in China or Australia, you're like 13 hours ahead of me. That's fine. We can work around that. All sessions are recorded in case you can't make them anyway. I review all work, and then I'll give you a nice Google Drive link so you can view it indefinitely. And those are also archived on our Discord. If you're not familiar with Discord, you have no idea what's going on, don't be intimidated. It's not hard to join. Click the link, and then once you get in, you'll have a handle. DM me to let me know who you are so that if you want to sign up, look on the website for pricing. I'm giving a very good summer special now. It's just $189 USD. And then I also run a mentorship, private mentorship. Now this is a little different. It's more intense. So the difference between my Creature Design Workshop and the mentorship is if you have specific goals in mind, say you want to get better at drawing, better at marketing, portfolio building, etc., we can hone that in. I'm helping several students right now build their own personal projects. Ask yourself, how many times have you started a personal project and got so overwhelmed that you stopped or you didn't even know where to start? I help you with that. I help you with marketing your artwork, getting your stuff out there, how to find jobs, etc. Or if you just want to treat this as a hobby and you just would like to get better at art, I can help you with that too. So check out the links in the description and leave a comment below. I love hearing about everybody's journey, and I try to answer every single one. I do acknowledge you. I do read all comments, good and bad. So try to give you some love there. I want to thank everybody for listening to me today and for tuning in. If you enjoyed this, give it a thumbs up, hit the notification bell, like and subscribe, and I will see y'all later. Peace.